Scientists in Russia are learning more about the animals that once roamed the Earth.
The Ice Age may have ended thousands of years ago, but many of its secrets are just now coming to the surface.
Deep beneath Arctic ice, some of the most dangerous predators of the Ice Age are not fossils or scattered bones. They are still there, entire bodies preserved in frozen ground. Saber-toothed cats, ancient wolves, cave lions, and other long-extinct animals lie locked in permafrost, so intact that scientists have openly discussed cloning them. These are frozen creatures so well preserved that researchers hesitate to thaw them, unsure of what consequences might follow. The saber-toothed cubs of Siberia. In the frozen wilderness of Siberia, a discovery seemed to blur the line between past and present. In 2020, near the Indigirka River, scientists uncovered a baby saber-toothed cat curled in the permafrost. Despite being more than 35,000 years old, it looked almost newly deceased. Thick fur, skin, claws, and even internal organs were still present. Its iconic saber teeth had not yet grown in, but the animal was unmistakably a predator. Researchers believe the cub may have been buried suddenly by a landslide and flash frozen before decomposition could begin. It was not alone. Another cub, slightly younger, was found in the same region, preserved in an equally unsettling state. Yet no one is eager to thaw them. The deeper scientists investigate, the clearer it becomes how little is known about these ancient hunters. Seeing a baby version of such a lethal animal creates an uncomfortable contrast, something that looks harmless, yet clearly is not. The perfectly preserved Ice Age wolf. In 2016, a gold miner near Dawson City in Canada's Yukon Territory uncovered another extraordinary find. Embedded in permafrost was a wolf pup, frozen for more than 57,000 years. This was not a partial specimen or skeletal remains. It was a complete animal with fur, skin, tiny claws, and even whiskers intact. Genetic analysis revealed it belonged to an extinct lineage older than modern gray wolves, adapted to a brutally cold world few humans could survive in for long. Scientists believe it died inside its den, possibly crushed by a collapse, then sealed and frozen almost instantly. Preservation like this requires perfect conditions, and the result unsettled even experienced researchers. Each answer raised new questions, not just about this species, but about what else might still be hidden beneath the ice. Cave lion cubs, predators built for power. In Siberia, scientists also uncovered 2 cave lion cubs preserved so well they looked almost modern. These were not ordinary lions. They were young Panthera spelaea, the Eurasian cave lion, an animal likely larger and more powerful than today's lions. These predators hunted mammoths, bison, and even one another. Fossil evidence shows cave lions sometimes died from attacks by their own kind. The 2 cubs, named Sparta and Boris, are estimated to be around 30,000 years old. Their cause of death remains unknown, but their condition is so remarkable that cloning has been openly discussed. The concern is not whether it is possible, but what kind of behavior such an animal would display. Their instincts evolved for a world that no longer exists, and no one knows how those instincts would translate into the present. Sasha, the woolly rhino calf. In 2015, researchers in Siberia found a frozen woolly rhinoceros calf named Sasha, preserved for more than 34,000 years. It is the only baby woolly rhino ever discovered. This was not just skeletal remains. Skin, hair, muscle tissue, and even a small horn were still intact. Though Sasha was young, adult woolly rhinos were immense, weighing over 2 tons and carrying horns up to 3 feet long. Fossil evidence suggests they were capable of charging at high speed and likely had aggressive temperaments. Ancient cave art often depicts them mid-charge or locked in violent combat, underscoring how dangerous they were to humans and other animals alike. Any discussion of reviving such creatures comes with an unspoken warning: containment would need to be absolute. Microscopic survivors that refuse to die. Not all frozen survivors are large. Buried deep in Siberian permafrost, scientists discovered beluoid rotifers, microscopic aquatic animals, frozen for at least 24,000 years. When thawed, they began moving again. These organisms reproduce without males through a process called parthenogenesis, allowing them to endlessly replicate themselves. They can survive extreme cold, radiation, starvation, dehydration, and even the vacuum of space by shutting down their biological processes until conditions improve. Their resilience has forced scientists to ask uncomfortable questions about how long life can truly persist and how much of it may still be dormant beneath the ice. Mammoth calves frozen in time. Siberia has also yielded baby mammoths preserved with astonishing detail. One of the most famous, Lyuba, was found in 2007 by a reindeer herder. At around 42,000 years old, she still had skin, fur, internal organs, and even undigested milk from her mother in her stomach. Another calf, Yucca, showed strange cut marks on her bones, suggesting possible human butchering or predator attacks. No definitive explanation has been reached. Each discovery reignites debate about cloning and whether reviving such animals is wise, even if it is technically possible. Frozen bison and a world of lost predators. In Siberia and Alaska, ancient bison have been found so well preserved that traces of blood were still visible in their veins. One of the most famous, discovered in 1979, was nicknamed Blue Babe due to the bluish tint caused by minerals in the soil. Muscle, skin, and visible wounds indicated the animal had been killed and then frozen before decay could begin. These bison show evidence of being hunted by predators that no longer exist. Deep claw marks, crushed vertebrae, and puncture wounds match bite forces from long-extinct animals. Multiple bison mummies have now been uncovered, each revealing more about the violent Ice Age ecosystem. Some samples are even being preserved for potential cloning research. Ice Age horses of the Yukon. In Canada's Yukon territory, frozen remains of Ice Age horses have emerged from permafrost. These animals were stockier and hairier than modern horses, built to survive relentless cold. One exceptionally preserved specimen found in a gold mine in 2018 still had fur, hooves, eyelashes, and stomach contents intact. Though over 40,000 years old, it appeared almost as if it had simply laid down to rest. The species, Equus lambae, went extinct thousands of years ago, yet its DNA remains remarkably intact. Some scientists propose reintroducing such animals to help restore tundra ecosystems and slow permafrost melt, which is now accelerating and exposing more remnants of a long-buried world. Ancient viruses awakening from the ice. Not everything emerging from the ice is dead. In 2014, researchers uncovered a giant virus in Siberian permafrost dating back 30,000 years. Known as Pithovirus sibericum, it was large enough to be seen under a standard microscope and became active again after thawing. Although this virus infected only amoebas, its revival raised serious concerns. Other ancient viruses have since been discovered, still capable of reactivation. While animals can be contained, viruses are far harder to control. The possibility that unfamiliar pathogens could emerge from melting ice is one of the most troubling aspects of permafrost thaw. Giant camels of the frozen north. In the Yukon, scientists also uncovered evidence of Ice Age camels, massive animals adapted not to deserts, but to extreme cold. Fossils found near Dawson City were preserved so well that researchers extracted collagen from the bones, something rarely possible after more than a few thousand years. These camels shared their environment with mammoths, dire wolves, and saber-toothed cats. Some estimates suggest they stood over 9 feet tall. Though they may not seem threatening at first glance, their size and strength make them feel almost unreal. Scientists are still piecing together how these animals adapted to such harsh conditions and why they ultimately vanished. As permafrost continues to melt, new discoveries emerge each year. Every preserved body and fragment adds to a growing picture of an ice age far harsher and more alien than modern life. Beneath the frozen ground lies an entire ecosystem locked in time, one humanity is only beginning to understand, and one we may not be fully prepared to confront. For more grounded documentary-style explorations into real mysteries hidden beneath history, subscribe to Rapid Rank and stay with us as we uncover what the past is still holding on to.